So blank sheet of paper, you have to create an hour, say, a magazine show, to loosely call it a magazine show for Cam Glen Radio. Blank sheet of paper. How do you go about it? What would the first thing you do be? And how much of it would be scripted? Indeed, would it all be scripted?
Okay, well, I'll take it back even further. There's nothing more disappointing than starting something and not finishing it. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about this, because no one ever gets a blank sheet of paper. You cannot get a blank sheet of paper in radio. There will be things in there. There will be things that you have to work around. Now, my blank sheet of paper, I'm presuming, is going to be for a speech-based hour. That's going to be repeated, as in this isn't a one-off, this is going to be a weekly or fortnightly or monthly, we don't know, it'll be something like that. So if I'm going to be doing something that is a regular show, if I've been given the privilege of having a regular magazine format that goes out every fortnight, the first thing I'm going to do is think of things that I can do on a regular basis. So is that talking to famous people from the area, or relevant people from the area, or is it every new week there's a new business that's opened in the area? I don't know. Is that something that I'm going to be able to continue for 5, 6, 7 shows? That way I'm planning ahead. That way I can always, whenever I've finished interviewing my interesting person from the area, come up with a better name than that. Then I can throw forward to next week when I'll be talking to another interesting person from the area. And then there's a consistency. Then there is a network that you're building up. Even if it's just the people that you're featuring on your program, you sure as hell will be bombarding them with an email saying, this is last week's interview, just thought you should have a listen so that next week when we talk, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about things that are relevant to where we live. So think about what we call furniture, bits of shows that are the same every week or every day. It's the same as if you're doing the breakfast show. Your furniture items are there every day, and therefore you can build around that. So I would, on my blank sheet of paper, I would try and put a couple of furniture items so that I know they're going to take a couple of days to set up. But hopefully, if you can set up 7 in a row, that's a great relief. That's your first item every day taken care of, every show taken care of, because it's always going to be your interview with the local celebrity. Then I would, seriously, am I putting together your first magazine show? Because the next thing that's most logical is to highlight something within the radio station. Cross-fertilise another show. If someone's doing a fascinating jazz program, get them to come in and to talk about jazz, and if there's jazz clubs that are open in the local area, then that's where we want to know where we can hear about this music live. So cross-promotion. Use the things that are closest to you. If you are going to be doing speech-based radio, the chances are a member of your family will be on the radio in some guise within the first 3 or 4 shows. That's just the way it is. You're going to utilize who you know first and foremost. And the people that work in the radio station around you are hopefully interesting people that are going to give you a good interview. And they've got something to sell, you would hope.
And indeed, you would invite people back, the likes of the Fred McCauley show. I've been invited on to speak about all sorts of random things.
There is nothing better than finding a contributor who can multitask. If you can get a journalist that lives locally, or another presenter that can talk about lots of different things, that's brilliant. That's one less guest. That's what we always liked at the Fred show was adding names to our interview bank, and so you can go in there and you can go, right, okay, we've got a music item, so we're going to go for Jim Gallagher, Colin Somerville, the regulars, and Vic Galloway. Okay, right, okay, who's going to be best to talk about that? Well, it's something to do with lyrics, and so we'd get that. You know what I'm talking about. But it's great if you can have a bank of contributors who have local knowledge, or not just local knowledge, differing knowledge. Historians will know about, relevant, council issues. Councillors will know about other things that are relevant, So yeah, so when you get them in, don't, after you've done your first interview, just say, what else are you interested in? What else could we talk about at another date? It's been fascinating talking about your used car collection, but, you seem like a fascinating guy. I'm sure you've got other things to talk about. Yeah, so always try and source contributors.